I'm gonna see if this works.
Oh, good luck, guys, by the way.
Yeah, good luck, you
Good
guys.
luck. I'm glad it's us.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Cheers to
This
that.
is like a group you can vibe with, you know?
Okay,
You don't
we're
want a shitty
live.
final three. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final tribal council of the experiment protagonists. Zoe, Peyton, and Trevor, you are our final three. You survived 24 people to get here with both Survivor and Big Brother formats. You guys did the thing, and now one of you will be crowned the winner and also win $150 tonight. Yay! Zoe, as final meeting winner, chose for the order tonight to be herself, Trevor, and then Peyton, and we'll reverse for final speeches. So, Zoe, when you're ready, you can begin. You have 7 minutes.
Hello. I think you know me as Zoe, otherwise known as Doey Calzone. I'm enjoying a winter ale on this fine evening tonight. I know that there's going to be a lot of questions about my game, but I hope that we can really dig into them. I'm going to give a brief overview of what I think went down. We're going to get a little deep. We're going to get a little personal. It's going to be cute. It's going to be fun. So I would section my game into 3 distinct parts. We got what I'm calling pre-blackout, which is basically the pre-swap and post-swap up until, pretty much the whole post-swap, where I was essentially forming key relationships, making alliances, and navigating the votes in the most effectual way to have the most people trust me all at once. It was not a very strategy-based game. It was very social, and ultimately a really good reflection of how I normally play Survivor. Then we have what I'm calling the blackout period, in which I got very ill and it affected both my physical and mental health. And I think that we can all agree in general that our personal lives come before orgs. It's not really up for debate. We don't expect things to happen to us. And so we just kind of have to roll with the punches. It's not like I was out of communication. If you messaged me, I messaged you back. There just wasn't a lot of effort coming forward from me, and not a lot of effort and challenges, things like that, as I didn't show up to most of them. And I know that when I did show up, one time I almost fainted on camera. So it wasn't anything to take super lightly. However, at the end of this period, I found myself in a really strange position of having done something that I didn't realize would put me in the best possible position moving forward. Aside from having been in this blackout period, I remained close enough to people where I was able to keep those relationships tight and keep myself not in fear of going up on the block or having my name put out for a vote for 3.5-ish consecutive rounds where I wasn't even available. And then post blackout is when I was in this position of people thinking that I wasn't a threat because of what I had just been through, and taking advantage of that position to make every single move that I wanted to make from that point out. That point being when Tawny got out. Accidentally, Tawny got out and Hudson got out. Hudson, I believe the biggest threat to win at that point, made the perfect path forward for me to be able to play a strategic game, not one I always play, and prove myself not only strategically, but as a comp beast as well, killing it with 3 challenge wins while ill. That's your girl. And ultimately, I made some really good friends in this game. Primarily, I'm really, really glad that I met Trevor and Peyton, of course. Keaton and I have a storied past, and I'm so freaking glad I got to work with Keaton, because I think that we became friends for like good and actually this game. And Hudson, who we've played together in a mini before, Ride or Die, but who I ultimately spent the entire pre-blackout phase knowing and loving and getting to talk to every day, and that was so fun. So ask me about my game. I'm really excited to tell you about it, and yay!
Nicholas.
I'm muted. Thanks, so. You did great. Trevor, it's your turn. Wow, us.
Okay. I don't know how long I'm going to take. This could take very short or very long. I apologize if I ramble. So I feel like in order to understand my game this season, I have to take you back a little bit to last season. So, and even before last season. So sometime in June, Destiny, I was doing a podcast with Destiny on Survivor CNU, the college driver that I do. Everyone should go watch that. Season 2 is on YouTube now. Everyone go watch it. Now, she said, Trevor, if you like these kind of games, there's one coming up. I'll be on prod for it. I played it before. I think you should really think about doing it. So I said, you know what? I'm currently looking for a job. I'm not doing much. I'm at home, just sitting here. Might as well just try to have some fun. And I did, and I played, and it's my first game ever, and I obviously made a lot of mistakes. I was trying to play way too hard the whole time. I was like, I'm just gonna backstab everyone and get to the end, and no matter what, like I'll win. Like in my head, like admittedly, sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times in my social, like in classes or whatever, I'd be like, so what if I was at Final 9 in Survivor? Like, what would have happened? And I always win in my head. So, it was very humbling when I did not, in fact, win last season. I was dubbed too big of a threat at the Final 9, Final 8, and I was, I had too much trust in the people, just thinking like, yep, they're gonna take me. Why wouldn't they take me? And I was voted out at 7. I won worst move of the season last season. Sitting next to the person that I took out as a result of having the worst move of the season. And in all honesty, that really hurt, winning worst move of the season. I don't know. After that, I just didn't know if I ever wanted to play a game ever again. After that, it just really, really like hurt my ego, and it just also hurt just because like I feel like I've been waiting for something like this to happen, and I do it, and I somewhat embarrass myself. So when Nick asked if I wanted to come back, I was like, I mean, I'm not going to know anyone going in. It's going to be a lot of pregame relationships. If you were not on board, if you were not on the production of season 9 or played season 9, I have no clue who you are. So I knew I was going to be at a disadvantage. So I was like, okay, I'll just see how far I can get. I'll talk to as many people as possible. Try not to come off as a strategic player and play a much more social game. And that's exactly what I did. There were 23 other people in this game, and I did my best to try to talk to every single one of them. There was not one day that went by that I did not talk to several people and ask them about their day and make these personal relationships. There's a difference between, like, in the game, of course, it's good to make those relationships because they won't put you on the block or vote you out or whatever. But to me, this group here is the core of the org community, because this is all I know. This is I dipped my toe last season, and now someone just Nick Mann just threw me into the deep end, and now I'm here. So I did my best to try to talk to everyone, make these good social connections that I knew would help me later on. I talked with Keaton a lot. I talked with my season 9 people a little bit here and there, even though a lot of them were on the other tribe. It was just me and Lakin. Julia and Cindy, I talked to them as well. I just tried to make as many good impressions as possible to get through the Big Brother phase, made it through the Survivor phase, and I would say I would agree with Zoe. She was kind of alluding to this. The turning point in this game was the Tawny boot. And I think that's going to get brought up a lot because that changed a lot of people's games. I will try not to repeat myself because I'm assuming we're going to get to things. We're going to get to a few things that I'll bring up. But the game changed for me once that happened, because right after that, the vote flipped very, very shortly before Tribal Council. And I had Julia texted me and I said, can we call? And I had the most important and scary conversation I've ever had with a human being, with Julia Rowe, Queen Julia Rowe. where she said, Trevor, everyone thinks you're a threat and everyone thinks you can win. And I said, it's happening again. I tried to mask myself as much as I could, and it did not work. So I said, okay, I was too lax. I got to play this game. And that's when I turned it on. I won 2 immunities, one of them by myself. I won my way into here with winning the second part. I found an idol with the help of Peyton a little bit. Yep. I hear it. With the help of Peyton, I found the idol. I did not need to use it ever because I'm the only person here that has received 0 votes cast against them, and I'm still here. Even though when there were 8 people left in the game, after I lost Tawny, who I had a great personal relationship with, and Hudson, who was one of my final 2s, I lost them both in one night and was told I'm probably next to go. And yet at the final 8, from the final 8 to now, I've received 0 votes against me. I think that shows how well of a social game I played. We're going to certainly get to the strategic part of my game later on, I'm assuming. I'll be happy to explain it. One thing I like most about Final Tribal Council, and it's a pet peeve, if like, there's no point in lying now. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's very important to me that you guys ask really good questions. I was in your spot a little while ago, so I know how it feels. Yeah, regardless of what happens, I'm happy to have met everyone.
Wrap it up.
I'm going. Yeah, I'm happy to meet everyone, and let's get started.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. Peyton, you are up.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to apologize in advance if I cough or sniffle. Like, I was walking around shirtless in Boys Town last weekend, so I haven't fully recovered from that yet. Okay, I just want to start off by saying thank you from the bottom of my heart to Prod in general, but Destiny. I was her autocast. She told me last season I had such a fucking piss poor performance, like the worst org I've ever played in my life performance-wise. So I was very, very shocked to be asked back. But the main thing going into the game was just trying to prove to myself that like the player last season wasn't me, and that like I can actually play and perform to the level of like being around all-star people. But coming into the game, the very first call I was on for the picture scavenger hunt thingy, I knew that immediately that I was gonna like have an uphill battle at the beginning of the game because I didn't know anybody, and the people that I did know are from season 9, and they literally all backstabbed me. So I had pretty much no connections going in other than having Trevor, Lakin, and Jacob, who all had just voted me out like months ago. So my main goal there was to just sit back and watch. For anyone that knows me, which I don't think is a lot of you, it's very, very hard for me to do that. I usually come into games, I'm like, super aggressive, super forefront, super making all these moves in the limelight. But this time I really had to sit down and just be observant and see who kind of was on the top of the totem pole. And very at the beginning, it was Cindy. She was at the top of our tribe. Just by sitting on call and hearing people have these inside jokes with her and saying, oh, you did this in this game and you fucked me over in this game, but I always continue to work with you. You always do this and this and this, but for some reason you always drill people back in. And so right off the bat, that was obviously someone that I had to work with, because if I don't have connections, I need to be with someone that does have the connections. And that was Cindy for me at the moment. And then kind of second tier, I felt like, in my opinion, was Timmy. He had all of these people that were saying very good things about him right here in the open, in the limelight, in front of everyone on the tribe call. So those were 2 people that right off the bat I wanted to have connections with and have that kind of relationship where if they had conversations, they would tell people to keep me safe, because I didn't have the currency. My name doesn't have as much currency as Cindy and Timmy's had at the moment. So I got really tight with Cindy. We were telling each other a bunch of information. I was telling Timmy a bunch of information. And it really worked for me because right off the bat, I won HOH week 2. And me, I had no idea what to do. So I was getting some information from these top tier players who play with everyone and know everyone. And so that's kind of how I worked my nominations out. And then that really worked for me when Timmy ended up winning veto. And then our relationship saved me there because he kept noms the same. And then since then, I kind of wrote it out with Cindy and Timmy until kind of like right before swap, like the first swap, which is where I ended up making bonds with people like Julia and these other people that I knew that I would need to have their name, their currency on their name is more powerful than mine. So I knew that I needed to have all of these people that had the connections to help me make the moves that I wanted to make. And then so right before we swapped, I was getting on a call with Jacob, who just blindsided me in season 9. And then I was getting on a call with Timmy at the same time, who is this new person for me. And then that's when I finally decided to turn my game on, and I was like, you know, I'm tired of sitting back in the shadows. If I can't be like this limelight player that I usually am, like I really don't even want to play because it's not fun for me. So that's when I finally decided to take a leap of faith and try to make this move on Cindy. And so I brought it up to Timmy and Jacob, who I knew were very close to her. And hey, it ended up freaking working because I got her out with an idol in her pocket. And that was me. That was my decision. I'm the one that initially brought it up. And then with the help of my good allies, Jacob and Timmy, we got the job done. And then since from there, I was kind of at the top of my tribe, and then fucking merge happened. And then I was on the bottom. So I was playing from the bottom from the beginning of the game, kind of worked my way up, and then boom, snapped my fingers, was at the bottom again. So when I'm at the bottom, I kind of work my best because I'm this like strategic person who sits back and tries to like pick out all the things I need to pick out. So when I'm on the bottom, I just feel like that's when you find out if someone is a do or die player, or you find out if they're just a player who can make decisions for themselves and they kind of just like get voted off because they can't come up with a way to get them out of the bottom. A huge turning point for me was at that point when Lakin was nominated. I told her that I would be saving her, was like super on her side the whole time. And then Trevor and I ended up talking, and Trevor was bouncing ideas back and forth with me. And we kind of decided the one way to get me out of the bottom was to put 2 other people at the bottom. And I knew that at that time, there was 2 people that were going to save Lakin.
Wrap it up.
Okay, well. 2 people that were going to save Lakin, and so I needed to have Keaton on the bottom because I knew that he had all of these connections with people, and that I knew that if he was on the bottom, then I would be kind of mid-tier. And so when I voted to evict you, sorry Lakin, that put Keaton on the bottom and it put me in the middle, and that's where my game like shifted for the most part. So that was kind of just like a narrative of my game. I try to play very differently this time. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm sure you have a lot. I know it's might be kind of hard to vote for someone whose game was kind of in the shadows for the most part, but I did do a lot of stuff. So please ask me about it. I'm happy to talk about anything with you guys. So.
Okay, we're just waiting for the first person to join.
What are you listening to?
Me? Nothing.
Nick, what are you playing?
I have Julia here. Julia, your time starts whenever you're ready.
Let me turn my volume on. Hello, can everyone hear me? Beautiful. Well, first off, I'd like to congratulate all 3 of you. You made it here. You did what a shit ton of us couldn't. And congratulations for that. I'm going to start off with a simple question to honor Cindy Kepik. Give me a compliment, please. Everyone, I don't care which order we go in. Just everyone give me a compliment. Thank you.
Cindy, like I said, you are the scariest player
You
I've
called me
ever played
Cindy.
with.
I don't wanna hear it. Peyton?
Like I told you like a while ago, you are literally, I'm not even joking. This isn't for like to get a vote, but you are genuinely one of the funniest fucking people I've ever met in my life. And you know that from like a long time ago. I told you that, but like you are genuinely probably the funniest person I've ever met in my life.
Thank you.
Did I really say Cindy? I'm so sorry.
Yes, you did. You did.
I'm sorry, Julia.
It's okay.
I call you one of the best org players in the community consistently, like on a semi-daily basis. I say I don't know how she does it, but if she gets to the end, she knows exactly how to get to the end, and if she's not at home, she can win it too.
Thanks for that one. I actually am probably going to be one of the nicer jurors, you see. I don't really have much to ask you guys. I'm just going to leave you with a couple words of advice. Keep it concise. A lot of us want to feel passionate. Hudson said that. Feel passionate about who we want to vote for. Really articulate your gameplay. We don't need a round by round recap of how the game went. We all played. We all were there. Really hit home the points of when you were in the driver's seat, moves that you made to propel yourself forward into the game, and why you deserve the win over the other two people sitting next to you. I usually come into the jury and I like to keep a very open mind about who I'm going to vote for. But I think for once in my life, I am leaning heavily one way. I said from like round 3 that Trevor was going to win this game. And I don't know how the fuck you let him get here, but he's here. But to Peyton and Zoe, you have supporters. Just articulate what you did. And like you said, make us passionate about who we want to vote for. And you guys got it. Again, congratulations. Love you all.
Thank you, Tawny. Oh, I mean,
I lied. I take it back. I take it all back.
Vote for me instead. Thanks. Bye.
I was like, do I want to make that joke?
Oh, that's so funny though.
Okay, we're going on next juror.
How's Pokemon, Nick?
Wow, I'm being attacked and called out. We're waiting for Jacob. Is he? Oh, I have Jacob here. Jacob, you have the floor.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm here. It's Coach Jacob. Coach Drew did not make it on Protagonist, so I had to live his legacy. I love you. Watch. Follow Reality Pop on YouTube. Love them. Follow Ascendance Live. Yeah, Peyton's in Final 6 right now. Go watch it. It's streaming right now. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna go watch that and hopefully see him win that. But just want to start off with congratulating you three on making it to this point of getting to the end of an All-Star season. That's the biggest flex, honestly. I envy you guys. But with that being said, I'm going to go right to the chase. I'm a little bitter. Not at you three in particular. Not because you guys placed there over me. Not because after I walked, there were 3 HOHs who I felt good with and I could have gone further in the game. Not that. It's not for any answers you've given thus far. I'm mad because I was in the Final 3 last season. And instead of getting an opportunity to plead my case to the jury, I was the last juror. I'm now the Chaos Cast of Experiment. I was 3rd place in my first season, 1st juror and 13th. Oh, to be fair to my own will, but regardless, I'm the opposite of Julia. I don't want butt kissing. I really don't want. That's my main stickler whenever I serve on the jury. The duplicity mini last season, and now it applies to this as well. Geez, this is tough. I didn't expect to be here. I'm going to start with Peyton. You said that you shifted your game from how you traditionally do as well, and I've been telling you I've been keeping up with Ascendance Live. I'm not all the way caught up, but I want you to just really give me a vivid image to how Peyton's playing in that game to how Peyton played this game.
Yeah, no, my game is all the way out there in Ascendance Live or in any org that I've like that has like past things on the page. Like you can go see. I'm always labeled the villain. I'm always labeled the strategic mastermind who always backstabs people. Yeah, in Ascendance, I literally was at the top of the game since day one to all the way to the end. Can't really give away any spoilers, but I am in Final Six in that game, signed NDA, whatever. But yeah, no, I dominated that whole game. And I was in the forefront the whole time. But I know that for me, that's very hard to do usually. And I was fortunate in that game to have connections going in. So it was very different for me this time because I literally didn't know anyone outside of Experiment besides Jay, who I played with in 1984, who also fucked me over. So I just literally had to sit back and completely change the way that I play. I'm usually not observant. I'm usually not trying to make friendships. I usually just want to come in and game bot and get to the end and win because like my eyes on the prize the whole time. But this time I had to sit back and wait until my time to strike, which started with Cindy. So that's just really, my game was just literally just sitting here and waiting until the right timing when in Ascendance I had the right time every single round and I dominated every single round. It's very hard for me to sit back and not do that. So I think that was just a testament inside of myself. Obviously, that's not something that everyone can see because people don't know my gameplay. But I'm very happy of the game that I played because it does show myself personally that I am a versatile player. So that was just very important for me this game.
All right, perfect. I was just about to say versatile is the best word I could think to equate to that. Next is Zoe. I want you to give me your... And then I'll ask you another question after this. Just say the names, 3 closest allies from your OG house.
It definitely changed over time, but Cindy for sure was not only my ally, but my biggest shield. Hudson, definitely. And I thank you, Jacob, because you had so much faith in me and I had so much faith in the faith that you had in me. I had a lot of allies on that house. And a lot of them were accidental, things that walked to me and asked for my allyship. And then there were things that I sought out. And I wanted to be in an alliance with you, Jacob, with Hudson, and I wanted Cindy to be my shield. So
I guess you sort of answered my follow-up, so you're good. Trevor, this one the other two I sort of had an idea of what to ask. I knew exactly what I was going to ask you. Okay. Because you brought up a lot of things that had I made it to the end last season, I would have brought up. Receiving no votes all game up until Final 3. Tawny and Hudson to you were Gray and Mike to me. From very early on, that I lost those people. I had to recover coming to the merge. Won a couple challenges. You won some immunities. I won some immunities. But then I remember to a time where you were on the jury. And I had to scroll up to see this. Lakin joined jury. Yep. And you said if me and Kay made it to the end, you'd commit seppuku, which, if you don't know, is a samurai sheathing a sword into their chest, committing suicide, and out of embarrassment, out of disappointment. So I have to ask, if you weren't going to vote for me, if I made it to the end, why should I vote you here?
Okay, so I will say, last season, I knew your game the least. Because you and I never really had strategic conversations. And that was the reason, that was one thing coming into this game was I wanted to be talking to everyone. Because at the time when I was voted out, you were the only person I had no strategic conversations with. We had like one 1 hour call, but it was mostly personal stuff, which I was totally fine. So looking back, like I have said like several times, I don't know like who I've said it to or whatever, but like I've definitely thought to myself, like if Jacob had made it and he explained himself, I would have voted for him and I wouldn't have thought twice. I would have voted for you over Kay and over Kevin, without questioning it. So why you should vote for me? Well, one, it was a silly joke. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't commit seppuku. Please do not do that. That's not. Yeah, I think you have. I'm going to commend you because I think you are more well versed than I am in these, and I think you can realize the game that I played better than I realized the game that you played, and that was a fault from last season.
Right then, I have nothing else to add. Again, congratulations on 3 of you for making it to the end of this. I did not expect this makeup of the final three. A lot of people say they're undecided. They're lying to you. They're leaning between two people, not three. I'm leaning towards all three of you. I have a reason to vote for each of you. I had to hear these other questions. I was going to go right to Ascendance Live. I wasn't going to listen to the rest of this. I was going to decide my vote. But I don't have
Yes, go
decided
watch!
yet. So yeah, watch Ascendance Live. Watch Reality Pop. Bye, guys.
It's a juicy episode.
Thank you, Jacob. We'll be waiting for Jay to.
I'm
pop
actually
in.
missing the cast like thingy right now, so but hey.
There's Jay. Jay, your time starts whenever you are ready.
Okay. Congrats, you three, on making it to the end. One of you will be joining me in the winner circle. Can't wait to see that. First off, for me, like, I think all of us jurors kind of have like different things we're looking for. Because I think Julia said we want one thing, Jacob said we wanted another thing, and I'm about to say something else. So I personally have a hard time voting for people that don't bring me energy, that don't bring me life. I want entertainment. Fuck the game. Like, just fuck the game. I just want to be entertained. With that in mind, I am going to ask a game question since I was 12, since I got booted, and I don't know jack shit. So I am like one of the few people that appreciates pre-merge moves and gameplay and whatnot, since I think it sets up how the merge is determined. So I want each of you to give me a example of like a move, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a vote. It could just be something you did to help position yourself, whether it be for the merge or like, you know, now. So I want to see what you guys did pre-merge that benefited you later on, and please make it entertaining. Any of you can go in whatever order. I don't care.
You want to go first? Or you want to go first? You can go.
Okay, no, I'll go. Okay, so the pre-merge was my favorite part of this game. Very little conflict, lots of fun. Particularly the first like 3 calls we had on the first like 3 nights or whatever of like doing the branch steals and stuff. Just bonding with people was super fun. That's not my move, but I do appreciate your love of the pre-merge because I also have a deep love of the pre-merge. I think the biggest thing that I did was forging my relationships with Trevor and Keaton, 2 huge game players who have a really good broad look at the game, know what they're doing, but are stronger than me. If I wasn't targeted in an alliance with them, they were the ones that were going to get picked off before me. Turns out none of us got targeted. That was great. So the person that ended up taking the fall for that was the 4th in my kind of dream alliance for that time period, Hudson. And when Hudson took that fall, it right after the Tawny vote, I know that this is going a little into pre-merge, but setting up like the relationships that I made with Trevor and Keaton allowed Hudson to take that fall and for me to move very gracefully past it. So that 4-person alliance was my biggest pre-merge move.
Hi. I don't want to, when I'm in a jury, I hate when people harp on one thing the whole time. And I've already touched a lot on the Cindy vote. So that is probably my biggest pre-merge, but I don't want to keep talking about that because I don't want to hit the nail on the head when it's already in the wood. So I think other than that, I think literally the biggest thing for me was getting out of my fucking head. Like, I came into the game and I was like, you're gonna be on the bottom, Peyton. You don't know any of these people. What are you gonna fucking do? And I think the biggest thing was getting out of my head and then making the connections. And then week 2, nominating you, I think really helped my game. Because I know. And you know how hard it was for me, girl. But nominating you was so good for me because I knew that you didn't have super, super strong connections because your work schedule is fucking hectic as fuck and you whatever. So I knew that like you weren't connecting with people like day to day. So I knew that had you have won or had you have stayed, which I knew you were going to stay, it would be easier for me to keep the people that I didn't nominate with me and then also build my relationship back with you, which I knew was very, very possible, which ended up actually happening because me and you were core votes into getting Cindy out together. So I think that was a super game defining pre-merge decision for me, was nominating you when you sang.
So my answer is going to be somewhat similar to Zoe's, but obviously a little more different. Try to be a little entertaining here for you, Jay. So to me, the biggest thing I did, it's just talk to people. I had to put myself out there more than almost anyone. Lakin and I are the only ones that we haven't played like anything else. I believe I've played the least amount of orgs on here because I believe Lakin's was on a different org. So I had no connections coming into this game. Other people had. They could say, "Hey, remember we played this? We can run this back again and everything." I was on calls till 3 a.m. when I work at 9. I was anytime anyone could call, I would message them during work, call them during work. I was still doing that post merge too, and that allowed me to get connections like Zoe, like Tawny, like Hudson. These people weren't even in my OG Big Brother house, but I was still trying to play both sides. Jay, 1 week I knew both HOHs came to me for noms. Both HOHs, Jay. That's pretty entertaining to me. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think that forging those initial connections with people that I did not know 2 months ago.
So HOHs couldn't come to me, but they could come to you. Girl, bye. How do I leave? I'm over this. How do I leave? I've never used StreamYard.
I think you just exit out. Thank you, Jay. We love you. We're just gonna wait another intermission while Lakin hops on.
I need more ice for my drink.
Well, this is a good chance to pop in.
Shit, this one's strong as fuck.
Hello, Lakin. You have the floor when you are ready.
Say what you just said again.
Your time starts whenever you're ready.
Okay. My phone is so quiet for no reason, but hey, guys. Congrats. Look at all of you. Such fun, lovely people. Trevor, Peyton, little season 9 bitches voted me out, but I love you. And Zoe, I didn't have hardly any connection with you, but still queen. I only have 2 questions, and they're the most basic thing ever. So enjoy this. What's one moment in the game you had full control of? Any of you, I don't care.
I'll go first. I think a round that I had, I didn't have to do a lot of work. I just kind of said something and everyone just did it. Was when Billy went home. Literally everyone was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I was like, well, I don't think Zach should go home because that's dumb, because Zach can go home at any time. And if Zach makes it to the end, he'll win. So everyone knows that he can literally go at any time. Yeah, so I was just like, hey, Billy, everyone okay with Billy? Everyone okay with Billy? And everyone was like, yeah. So that was probably my round.
Okay, so my round was the final 5. At that point, I had a final 2 with, I believe, everyone. Keaton and I was a little unspoken, but I had a final 2 with everyone else at that point, and I had an island in my pocket, so I knew I wasn't going home. My goal that round was to take out the biggest threat to me at the time, which was Keaton, and I wanted Zoe and Peyton. I wanted 2 of my strongest final 2s to become a 3, and hopefully they would both take me to 3. Because after I found out it was a final 3, not a final 2, I knew I wouldn't have to make a choice between the 2, and they could both just take me. So that was when I was in the most control.
I guess that means it's my turn. The round that I would say I had the most control, actually, I had 2 rounds pretty consecutively, the Timmy vote and the Julia vote. The Timmy vote, I dictated almost word for word what was going to happen at the beginning of the round. It was my round. It went the way I wanted it to. The Julia round, I had to convince myself of the correct thing to do. And because Julia is such a close friend of mine, I love her so dearly. She had went out of my game the night previous, and I was upset about it. Before that round, in my brain, I was like, Julia has to be after Timmy. Julia is next. And I had to end up convincing myself that that was the right move to do. And regardless, I still had control over what everybody else was doing. Even if Keaton didn't end up voting where I wanted him to, and I knew that he wasn't really going to because of one very long car ride to Vermont, that he was okay with me doing it because he also knew that it was what was best. So that being said, 2 consecutive rounds where I had all the power and no fear of going home because of the positioning that I had put myself into at that point.
Okay. By the way, I just want to say I really am so proud of you guys. Like, listen to you guys talk, and I don't know, I just love it. Okay. What do you, in your all's personal opinions, what do you think was your biggest mistakes? What do you think you did the most wrong? Yeah.
I'll go first. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but the biggest mistake for me was I was way too comfortable in the game. I wasn't nominated pre-merge. I was never up for contention in the survivor phase pre-merge. And then things changed once the Tawny thing happened, and I was completely exposed. I should have been talking to more people. I should have been talking with Julia. I should have been putting myself out there to talk about the vote, not just what's going to happen at live night. I was able to recover, thankfully, from that, but I definitely had to shift gears once that happened.
I have like 2 that are kind of equal, but I think my biggest is not capitalizing on the relationship I had with Tawny. We literally met in person in Florida like a couple of days before the game started. And coming in, that should have been, and I knew she was going to be a very powerful player because everyone loves her because she's a queen. So I knew that I just met her, we just connected in person, and that was someone that I should have capitalized on. And that was a big, big downfall of my game because she did end up nominating me. And then she almost ended up nominating me again. So that was a huge relationship that I guess I just didn't have the mental capacity to just do it. I don't know. I was just late. That was like a very lazy part of my game. But yeah, that's the biggest one.
If it makes you feel any better, I had no I had no kind of relationship with Tawny either. So.
Once again, going off of relationships, there were several people who, not so much that I had written off, but so much that my brain didn't have the capacity to handle at that time when I was going through something very personal, and physically awful, by the way. Yeah. So I think it wasn't so much as a mistake as a misfortunate timing situation. I know a lot of people, or at least some people, are expecting me to say that voting Tawny off was a mistake, and however much I hated doing it, and however much I literally cried myself to sleep that night and cried all through Tribal and the live night, the whole thing, you can ask anybody, I was in tears. Like, it ended up being an excellent game move for me. My subconscious just knew. That's all.
Great. Perfect. Great. That's literally all the only questions I had. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I mean, Trevor has been somebody I've been so incredibly close with for a long time, and I don't know, I just, at the beginning of this game, it was like, if Trevor makes it, I'm voting for Trevor. So my vote is already kind of solidified in that factor, but also you two are something that is like really hard to choose between. This is a good group, so I'm definitely gonna keep my options open, but my boy Trevor, my T-Dog here. I gotta lean towards him.
That's something we talked about too. I was like, oh, it's gonna be hard to get Lincoln. It's gonna be hard to get Lincoln. But hey, bitch, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
I still love you so much, Peyton. Love all of you. Icons.
Means a lot, Lincoln. It was same to you too. I was like, if I can't beat Lincoln, I'm voting for her.
All right. How do I leave? Oh, there's a leave button.
Thank you, Lakin.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Tawny will be here in a moment.
Bitch, I need to stop drinking. I'm feeling this vodka.
Okay, Tawny, you have the floor.
I'm currently going through Zoe's blackout portion at the moment, honestly. I have a really bad cold, so I look like and sound like complete absolute shit right now.
Tawny, you have the floor.
Hi.
I'm currently going through Zoe's blackout.
Oh my god, why do I hear myself?
Honestly, I have a really
Have I?
so
Oh
I
my
think you
god.
have a
Okay,
stream playing in
we're
the
good. I thought I muted YouTube and I did not. We are okay though. I just scared the ever living shit out of myself and I sound way worse than what I thought I did. This is fantastic. So I had an idea of what I was going to say and then I completely lost it as per usual and I'm sober. But okay, so Zoe, let's start with you. Over like I guess the course of the game, like we obviously were working close together and then Jacob asked you a question of who were your top 3 people that you were working with that you would say. You said him, Hudson, Cindy. And when Keaton comes into the jury, he tells me that you were itching, like you were looking for a reason to vote me out of the game. So what I'm confused with is like clearly we weren't as close in game as what I thought we were. And I'm curious as to if the vote of like you actually voting me out, how much of that was actually you keeping a promise and how much of that was you actually wanting to get me out?
Actually, no. I did say that to Jacob before, but if I had to say 4th, it would be you. But also, girl, you are in games, you scare me. You're so good. And the way that you are able to speak to people to get them to do what you want and to assert yourself as a force in the game, like it's a scary thing to be next to. And I love you dearly and as a person, and I was happy to be in an alliance with you. I don't necessarily think that I absolutely was keeping a promise to Timmy. You can ask anybody that round, like that's exactly how it went down. I was confused and not very self-aware. I wouldn't have promised him that, and I probably would have made a mistake in keeping you because I feel like you'd be a lot closer to the end and you'd be a lot bigger of a threat than you were to take you out. To be honest, like it was really confusing for me. It felt hard and wrong, and I knew that I needed to do it to keep myself in a good position, and I was upset and confused. And I went to everybody the next day to be like, what happened, and had to formulate where I was and how it meant to proceed in this game without you, especially because other people were looking at you as a threat. And that's an advantage to me to not be looked at in such a way. So I considered us close, but I was keeping you at like elbows length. You know what I mean? Because I see how you play. I've seen how you play, and you're not the kind of player I would normally associate with, even if you're the kind of friend that I will always have.
Okay. Peyton, you kind of addressed this with Lakin a little bit on how you didn't like fully capitalize on your relationship with me, how we had like just met. And one of the things that had always confused me in the game was there was a time, I think it was sometime after my first HOH. I can't remember if it was like pre-swap, post-swap, merge, whatever. It was sometime in there. Like this moment has been stuck in my brain for as long as I can remember, for whatever reason. Like there was a day that you were like, hey, let's call tomorrow. And I'm like, I am down. I am off. I have the entire fucking day. I had even messaged you when I woke up. I had like some like errands to run in the morning or whatever. I messaged you when I was done. And I literally did not get a damn response of like, oh, hey, sorry, like I got caught up with this. I got caught up with that. Like I had work. I was out with friends. Da, da, da. I literally got nothing. And like to me, like I don't know how many other people like will like agree with me on this, but it seems like maybe it's just because we weren't close in the game and you obviously had people that you were close to in the game. It seemed like you were way too more focused on, which again, real life comes before this, but like way more focus going out with friends, partying, doing this, that, and the other than trying to make certain connections with people. Like I just kind of, what happened with that?
Yeah. So this is like kind of a difficult question for me to answer. Just because it's not like a side of myself that I usually like show or tell people. But when I don't know people very well, it's like I come off as a very eccentric and like over exaggerated, like flamboyant gay. But it's hard for me to like get on call with people and just like sit there and be myself. Like I have social issues. I have trouble like confidence wise. It's like kind of hard to explain, but like it's hard for me to get like to initiate getting on a call with someone that I don't know. And I know that's like part of the game and that's something that I needed to do, but that's just a side of me that I've been trying to work on. And I know that on the surface I'm super like out there and eccentric, but the very first initial call with people is super, super, super hard for me because I'm super self-conscious of what people are going to think about me. And I think most of the jury can contest, like I didn't have a lot of calls this season at all. Like I can get my personality and my thoughts and my game and stuff across when I'm messaging people. There's just something in my head that I can't connect with pushing the call button or accepting the call button. It's super, super hard for me to get that initial icebreaker across. And if that loses me the game, that's something I'm gonna have to deal with because that's something that I've been trying to actively work on as a player. It's super easy for me when I've played games with 3 or 4 people in the game and I can easily go on call with them and shoot the shit. But I think even meeting you in Florida, I was kind of like back and kind of to myself in the corner because it's hard for me to make the initial contact. But once I do make that initial contact, I think that I can bond and vibe well with people. But yeah, it's super hard for me to talk about. So that's like kind of all I'm going to say. But it's just hard for me to make that initial like icebreaker move. So it's completely nothing about you. It was like all me. That's probably one of the hugest faults of my game. And that's something that I have to carry with me and try to work on as a player. So yeah.
Okay, and Trevor. So this is more kind of broad because I feel like there's a lot of people, maybe it's just me thinking that a lot of people are like wondering this because you were close to, I would say, just almost every single person that is on jury, maybe aside from a couple, but you definitely did, I feel like, the most to make genuine bonds with people in this game. Like you said, you even had a final 2 with pretty much everyone that was left in the final 5. What I'm kind of curious of is on your like if you were to make a totem pole of who would actually be like on the top to like on the bottom, like let's just say like I just want to put like your top like maybe 6 out there. Like, because I feel like everyone at some point thought that you were probably their number 1. Like, so who is actually your number 1, and like where did like I would say like your top 6 people fall?
Okay. I'm only going to talk post-merge because that's kind of when my strategic game kind of started. And I also want to say, like, honestly, every relationship I made on a personal level, I'm going to take that with me just moving forward. I just want to say that, like, fuck the game. I don't care. Like, you and I had a lot of conversations. Like, you were always a very good friend of mine. That's a fact. So after we merged, I was closest with Keaton and Zach. It kind of changed a little bit. Keaton was someone that I thought I could never really take to the end, and I was scared to take very far. And I knew, like, I knew I was gonna have to take him out at some point. It would just click for me. So like long term in terms of final twos, Hudson was definitely first. It was definitely Hudson, and after he left, after you and he left, I turned to Peyton and Zoe. Those were my next two. And Peyton was always someone from the beginning. He and I were joking like, "Oh, I'll make it up to you. I'll take it to the end this time. Don't worry, I'm not gonna vote." And I really genuinely never wanted to vote him out. I was just like, if I have to, I will. But like, I never had to, and I didn't want to, so I didn't. So how many was that? It was Zoe, Peyton, Hudson, Keaton, and honestly, I would say you. I feel like when we started talking before, like we were in the OG houses, I was like, this is totally like such a game relationship. And strangely, like I feel like I talked to you almost more than anyone. So it was kind of, I just felt like I could trust you, like even outside of the game. So honestly, I wasn't even thinking like, should I take Tawny out at some point? I was just like, I'm just vibing with Tawny. We'll see where things go from there. So I think that'd be my 6.
Okay, congratulations to the 3 of y'all for getting here. I'm gonna go continue dying. I'm currently in my deathbed right now. So good luck, and I can't wait to talk to y'all after. Have fun with everyone else.
Love you.
Feel better.
Feel better.
Thank you, Tawny. I hope you feel better, Queen. We're gonna bring in Hudson next.
Hudson's looking handsome today.
Hello, Hudson.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? I hate this because StreamYard mirrors me, and I hate how I look when I'm mirrored. Yeah, so hi, friends. So great to see all of you. I kind of had an idea in my head of what I wanted to say, and now that I'm here, I like completely lost all of it. That's what I get for deciding to wing it and not coming prepared with any questions, but here we are. I just wanted to say, I know we're all boring and we all say the same thing, but serious congratulations. I mean, top 3 out of 24 people. That's pretty amazing. And you all should be very proud. And I'm nervous sitting here right now on camera talking to you as a juror. So having to be a finalist and pleading your case, you could say it's quite the challenging set of circumstances. So I had to. You're all doing amazing. I guess I'll address you each individually. Peyton, I think you're a lot of fun, but I will admit at this point, my vote is pretty heavily leaning towards Zoe or Trevor because they're the 2 people that I connected with more closely on a personal level. And as Julia mentioned earlier, I need to feel like passionate about who I'm voting for. So as far as like where I am at right at this moment, like that's kind of where I'm leaning, but I still want to give you an opportunity. Like I didn't really know what to ask you, and I feel like you should get the chance to speak to put your case out there. So it's kind of a very open-ended question. It's not a very good one, but just elevator pitch. Why should I personally vote for you to win?
Hi. Yeah, same with the mirror thing. It's like fucking me up with my hair and stuff. Anyways, you were someone that like Zoe, Trevor, and I were kind of all talking after Zach left. And you were someone that I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna get their vote. But like obviously I'm not gonna lay down and die because that's not Peyton. So but I think you should vote for me because I played like an honest game for once in my fucking life. I didn't have to make 74 final twos to get to where I am. Like I didn't have to make 900 alliances. I was in a slight alliance with you at the beginning. You were one of the very first calls that I went on together. And like I said, it's very, 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 very tough for me to break the ice with someone. And you were one of the first people in the game that I did break the ice with. And I know that I suck at calling people. I suck at it. But you are someone that I really do think that I did make a genuine connection with at the beginning. Like, I think you're a great person. I think that we did have a pretty good relationship. And then when it came to the tragic point where I had to send you into elimination, Timmy and I got on call and we were axing people out. And you and Trevor were the last two people that weren't X'd out. And Trevor, we made a deal with in the challenge. So that's why you ended up going in. I don't know if you knew that. I just wanted to clear that up.
I honestly, I assumed, but like I didn't know for sure. So I appreciate getting the clarification on that.
So I axed someone out, Timmy axed someone out, then I axed someone out. Like, and then obviously you weren't someone that I was gonna axe out for not putting in because we didn't have that connection.
Right, of course.
And I had these connections with everyone else. But like I said, my game stands alone with how I got here without having to make any final twos. I didn't say you're my final two to anyone on jury. Anybody, no one. And Trevor had to make this, that, and the other, or else his name would have been brought up because his game is flashed out in front of everyone and mine's not. And so I guess that's the route that he had to take because his moves were out in the open and mine weren't. But I think that my game stands on its own because I didn't have to make like bonds and promises to people that I knew I wasn't going to be able to make. Any promises that I did make with someone, I followed through with. And every vote that I made was out in the open, other than people that needed to be blindsided in case of idols, this, that, and the other. So I think that if you want to vote for someone that played an honest game and that can stand on their own and hold my own game in my hand, I think you should vote for me. But if you want to vote for people that you had connections with and you had like better relationships with, obviously Trevor and Zoe. So I'm not gonna like choke you or punch you in the face. But yeah, I think that I am a contender tonight. So I'm not gonna lay down and die for the jury. So
thank you for the answer. I do also just want to say, like, I respect the hell out of having to play from the bottom for so long, because especially on a season where there were a bunch of connections and you have no idea who any people are, because my first season of any org was this series, season 1, and there were 5 people who all played on the same season of Trinity together, who were all kind of in an alliance. So I was in a similar situation. I respect the hell out of that gameplay. So just respect. Zoe, I love you like so much. You were like one of my favorite people to talk to in this game. Like, as far as personal connections go, like, you're probably number 1 out of the people that I met. I just think you're so wonderful. I'm really like, I'm just really sorry that you had to go through what you went through midway through the game. But I admit it's making it hard for me because I do have a game body side to me too, and I want to focus on how people played the game as well as how I connected with them. And for me, like, I didn't really get to see any of that agency that you were talking about exerting over the game later because I got live nighted out. So I didn't get to see any of that. And the other thing, I mean, I guess this question kind of goes for Peyton as well, but, you know, for me, and I think I don't want to speak for the whole jury, but from what I've seen in the Ponderosa chat, and the way that I was perceiving the game after I left, I kind of felt like after like every single vote that happened after I went home, I literally cannot speak. I kind of felt like, oh, Trevor's walking through the door. Like, it's his time. He's such a threat. Like, obviously they're going to cut him. Like, his like safety net is gone with Tawny and me. I was like, he's kind of done. And then he just never, ever went home. And so my question to you, and I guess also to Peyton, if you want to jump in at some point, is that you're talking about how you got to play a more strategic game towards the end with these relationships that you built. I don't doubt for a second you built amazing relationships in the game. My question is, strategically, how did you use them to their full effect if you let the biggest front runner to win in the eyes of the jury kind of waltz to the end without a single vote?
You know, I guess Trevor was kind of an oversight. No, but like Peyton said, I didn't end up making 100 final twos with everybody. I'm really, really lucky that you got cut when you did, and it wasn't my responsibility, because I never would have done it, and I would have took you to the end, and you would have won. But the only person that I made a real, honest final two with this entire game was Trevor, and I wasn't gonna break it. I'm a loyal person, honestly, a lot of the time to a fault. But Trevor was on my side too, and I knew it because he didn't think of me as a threat. And I used the perspective that everybody had of me remaining in the game, that I was not there, that I was not focused on the game, that I wasn't a threat to win, and that I was going to be a GOAT. And I used that to play so hard going forward that I made all these incredible moves, and I'm so sorry that it wasn't as visible, especially to you, because I want to make you proud. But but I did leverage my position. I made a really bad situation into like a really incredible one, where I used those relationships I forged and the ones that I didn't. When I saved Timmy, he thought that he had me on lock. Julia thought she had me on lock. Keaton thought he had me on lock. Trevor kind of had me on lock, but I will say that I did not do everything for Trevor. I was doing it for myself while keeping loyal to him. I was much of the time running things past him and not really letting him know what was going to happen, at least from my perspective. Before he let me know that he had the idol, I was making sure that I had safety by throwing votes and doing other things, feeling secure in a situation where nobody else was feeling secure, because of the way that I managed to maneuver, once again, that shitty situation into a really great situation. The Timmy, whole thing where I promised him, he said, going forward, we will work together. And we did for 2 rounds. And then his usefulness was up. And I knew that he wanted at least my alliance to be taken down in a way. And so I took him down. Julia, next vote, endgame, incredible. Don't know how she does it. She needed to go, couldn't let her get there. And I knew that she had that super close relationship with Keaton. And so I wasn't going to let it happen. I ensured all the votes were there, even if Keaton wasn't going to vote for her. And then from then on, when we get to Keaton, that was also very decided, very calculated on my part, in which, like, I loved Keaton and I loved to play with him, but I knew that there was no way that I was taking him any further than where he was going. Even if I said to him over and over again, yes, Zach is going next. Yes, Zach is going next, because honestly, perfect GOAT icon. Like, but the whole point is that, like, nobody for a second thought that I was controlling things as actively as I was. But the game was mine from Billy onward. And that's just the way it was.
Can I say something in regards to the question you just asked?
Absolutely.
I think that in every game, sometimes you're put in a position that you have no other choice but to play the villain role and to make all of these final twos and alliances. Trevor was given the opportunity to do that or to not do that. And he chose to make those alliances and to make those final twos and to be the villain. And a lot of times, sure, yeah, I were the villain that played everyone. He made the conscious choice to do that. He wasn't put in a position and his back was never against the wall. My back was against the wall and I still didn't do that. I still didn't go to everyone and make false promises. That wasn't something that I wanted to do. That was something that I was trying actively not to do, because I usually do that. So for me, I think that in this specific scenario, I don't think awarding the villain archetype in this game is necessarily the best possible thing to do, because he chose to do that. He could have easily gotten to the end a different way of being loyal, honest, and being upfront with his votes. If he wants to come to me and promise this, that, and the other, and every single round he wouldn't even be honest with me about how he was voting, and then he would get on call with me and be like, I'm sorry, I'm going to make it up to you, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, when pretty much everyone in the game knew exactly where I was voting at every single point, and I still got here with what, 2 votes against me? 2, 0 votes? Who cares? It's not like, I don't care about how many votes you have against you at the end. I had 2 and they were both almost pity votes. So I'm not looking at who didn't receive a vote, who did receive a vote. I don't care. I didn't go and make 78 false promises to someone to make it to the end. I stood here on my own game, being honest, reliable, and straightforward. So I think it just depends on who the jury wants to award the win.
And I'm gonna piggyback onto that. Same thing.
Can't even
No
defend
false
myself.
promises. Aside from that, my only vote that I got the entire game was a thrown vote because Julia promised Billy that she would never vote for him. It was not a vote for me. It was just a vote not for Billy.
I'm gonna need
Okay,
y'all to wrap
can
it up
I-
because Hudson.
I can't even defend myself, Nick.
Almost double
can I have a moment to talk to Trevor first? I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to go so long. I want to say my piece to everybody. So Trevor, I want to give you this chance to rebuke what they're saying, just so you get the chance to speak as well. If I'll have the time. Do I have the time? Can I?
Okay. Everyone keeps saying like these two are now like changing the story. It was oh, I made a million final twos with everyone, and that's not necessarily true.
Mhm.
Okay, look at this. See this. Okay,
hang on. So let me just say, can I speak my piece?
Yes.
Trevor, I like you. I like you a lot. I was coming into this like planning on putting a little more pressure on you because I don't think that a lot of the jurors were really like. There's a couple, but coming into this, it was kind of looking like a clean sweep, honestly. But Zoe and Peyton are putting on really great performances, and that could change. So I want to give you the chance.
Yeah.
So from my perspective here, as somebody who was working very closely with you in the game, even with me, there were points where I was like, Trevor's trying really hard to protect Tawny here. And I was kind of like, he's like in with a lot of people. And I think that it could come off a little bit like, sketchy sometimes. And that could be frustrating even as a close ally of yours. However, I think you kind of acknowledged that in one of your questions. You said you got kind of comfortable and a little bit too comfortable. I can't think of other words.
Yeah.
I can't think of synonyms. So that was going to lead into something. I don't know. Just keep talking.
I just want to say my game was the flashiest here, and I got no votes cast against me. Me and Julia were the biggest threats at the final 8, and I made sure that she and Keaton stayed in the game as long as possible because I knew these two were never going to be voted out as long as I was doing all the social work. There was never a point where I was hoping someone would do social work for me so that I could stay in the game. I did all the work, and I deserve to be here, and I deserve to win because I put in the most work this entire season. Both Zoe and Peyton combined did not do as much social work as I did. Julia acknowledged it, that I was talking to everyone every single day. I won when I needed to. I found things when I needed to. If Peyton wants to paint me into a villain role for some reason in a desperation move, that's fine. I will take it in stride. I know my game. The jury knows my game. I think it says a lot that everyone knew my game and no one did a damn thing about it. And we are now just trying to find out exactly what Zoe and Peyton did to get here.
All right. I'm going to get out of here because I've spent way too much time now asking questions, and I feel kind of bad for holding everything up. So love all of you. It's been great.
Thank you, Hudson.
I never said the villain role was bad, and I never said you shouldn't deserve to be here, so I don't know where that came from, but
I mean, and also just to piggyback on before the next juror gets here, if I can accomplish what Trevor accomplished minus 1 vote, I think that I got a lot more for my money's worth putting in the time that I put in. If Trevor made $800 working at $12 an hour, I made $800 working at $18 an hour. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have Billy Vance here now. Let's
Hi.
go.
So honestly, I was gonna ask, like, I'm really proud of the 3 of you, regardless of how much we actually talked or whatever. This is a 24-person cast. Like, that ass, like, all of you did something to make sure you guys were here. And honestly, like, no matter how much we talked or whatever, like, my vote is not like open and shut sealed. Like, it does not matter. I've been really getting like the TLDR notes because I haven't been able to be on like the Zoom because I've been freaking out about something else that just happened. I won a final immunity in my other game, and I'm fucking freaking out about it. But like,
Whose game? What game is it?
Oh, it's your game, though. Thank you.
Oh, okay, cool.
My question was actually going to be, how dare you make me wait for this? But no, I'm just really proud of the three of you. I really don't have any specific questions. I'm just kind of here to take up the screen time because as much as I would have liked to say, I've been such a huge collaborator on the season. 2 out of the 3 of you, we really didn't have that great of conversations, which is obviously not just on you, it's on me as well. So I can't even say I can use that against you because that's not something I even tried to initiate anyway. The only person I really tried to talk to throughout this game was Trevor, and Trevor and I, because we basically were on the same tribe pretty much the entire time. So Trevor, my only question for you is, how's it feel when the Titans finish second in the division?
It's funny you say that because the King's gonna return, and we beat you twice. I mean, I understand that Jonathan Taylor is having a great season, but he should be nowhere near the MVP candidacy, in my opinion. Because if Henry didn't win with 2,000 yards, then
that's completely valid. But
no, you guys scare me. You guys are scared. You always scare. The Colts always scare me.
But no, I really don't want to take up too much of your guys' time because I don't have usually when I come into a jury, I have specific questions about how you guys played. But considering that me, Peyton, Zoe did not even meet until more than halfway throughout the game, I really don't know what you guys have done. One thing I am going to say though, because I'm really not afraid to tell you what the jury is telling y'all. All 3 of you guys, from the jury's perspective, seem like you guys don't want it. There's a lack of enthusiasm. There's a lack of wanting it. There's just, and I'm not sure what it's based on because I haven't been watching. I'm just telling y'all that's the perception from the jury right now. So right now, one of you 3 can definitely just step up, put some fucking pep in your step, and actually tell us what's going on. I'm not saying none of you have. I'm just saying that's what they're telling me. But this game for me isn't cut and closed. I'm going to be probably watching throughout just to figure out what happens from now on because I'm not going to be stressed anymore. But I really wish the 3 of you luck. Don't feel discouraged if you guys don't win. If someone wins, congrats, great. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Put some pep in your step, guys. You got this. Cheers. Love you all.
Thank you, Billy. I'm going to bring in I think it's Keaton next.
I'm excited for this one.
This is gonna go so many ways.
Out of the 3 of us, you are the villain, Trevor. I don't know why you denied it.
No, I'm definitely the villain between the 3 of us. Yeah.
But you want to say you don't know why I pinned you the villain?
No, I just came out of nowhere. I just did not see it coming.
You have the floor, Keaton.
Keaton, we cannot hear you. Your mic is.
Yeah, I know. How do you change that? Fuck.
It's better now, kind of.
It's because you're screaming.
Because I'm yelling.
Okay, wait. How about now?
Good.
Hell yeah! The thing that's been a struggle the entire fucking game comes back once more. Oh my god, I love you guys. I just want to say that. Y'all fucking deserve this so much. I am so happy to see you 3 here. I'm not gonna say more. I'll wait until after the game for that one. But God, okay. So I have 2 things I want to ask. First one, with the help of Jacob for this one. You don't need to go too much into detail here. This isn't my main one, but I still think it's fun. So we're gonna do it. We'll just go Zoe, then Trevor, then Peyton. I'll just give the order so we can get the hell out of here. Which juror deserves to take your spot the most, and which juror doesn't deserve to serve on the jury? Don't it doesn't need to, you don't need to give explanation. You're going to say answers and then call it a day. So Zoe, you go first.
The person who deserves my spot is probably Zach. He freaking clawed his way through this game. Like intense survival mode all the way. Like, if I didn't think that he was going to win if he got here, like, maybe, I don't know, Trevor would be gone or something. But he deserves my spot. He played so well and such an incredible game that if he had won final immunity, which unfortunately he was not given the opportunity to do, he'd be winning this game. So there's that. The second part of this I don't like as much. It's not a fun question.
Neither do I. I wanted to ask both parts of it though.
And I think that he'll understand my answer. But I'm gonna say Jacob, as one of the first people on the jury, the first juror, I believe, having decided to walk on his HOH. And it's not something I would ever say of my own volition, ever, Jacob. But if there's one person that I think doesn't deserve it, it would be the person who decided they didn't want to be here anymore. And I respect that decision, nothing against it, but it's what impacts this here decision.
All right. I think I said Trevor second.
Yep, you sent me next. I think it's pretty close for who most deserves it. It's pretty honestly, I would say you, because I think you and I played very similar games, and I would have definitely respected whichever one of us made it if we both made it. And I'll keep it short, like you said. The person I think is least deserving would be probably Timmy, just because from my perspective, I feel like he didn't make social connection with me, and I don't know. I just didn't see much of his social game, so that's my answer.
All right, and then Peyton.
Hi. I'm gonna say who most deserves it. Like piggybacking off of Trevor, like flip wise, I think Timmy deserves to be here. I think that he was in a position that not a lot of people were in, and he was making the social connections, and maybe that was the one person Trevor didn't make a false promise to. I don't know. But I think the person who doesn't deserve to be here, it's like hard to say because obviously everyone made it as far as it did for a reason, but I am going to say Jacob just because he chose to remove himself from the game. So I think it's just he didn't want to be here, so he shouldn't be here.
All right, perfect. Now, as it's been said about several fucking times, these people aren't exactly too enthused with what has been said so far. Maybe it's because you're not being asked the right thing. So let's make sure you get asked the perfect question. Each of you, I'll go Peyton, Trevor, then Zoe. Answer the question you wanted to be asked the most. Tell me what the question is, and then answer it. Okay, we apparently haven't been giving enough to give the fire, so give us the fire.
I was expecting coming in to be asked why the others shouldn't win. I think that's just like it's any finale I've been in, it's been like a staple question. So that's what I'm gonna answer, or like maybe not why they shouldn't win, but like what's a fault of their games is probably a better question.
Let's go with that. What's one fault of their games?
I think the biggest fault of Zoe's game is just like something that wasn't even in her control. So I think that might be why she might struggle getting votes. Do I agree with it? Maybe, maybe not. Had I been a juror, I'd still be open to it. But I think that her blackout period is going to be what is going to struggle getting her votes. Trevor, I think the biggest part of his game that was not good was not actually making false final twos. I don't think that's it. I think where he made a huge mistake, which he kind of touched on it in his opening, was he said that Tawny was one of his closest allies. The round she went home, I was the swing vote. And he didn't even try to get me to save her. He didn't get on call with me. He didn't message me. He didn't ask me to save her. I think that if she was such a huge asset to his game, he would have been going around to everyone getting him, like trying to get them to save her. He didn't ask me. He didn't do anything to me or for me to get me to save her. Even after I told him I was voting her out. I told him I was voting her out since the beginning. And I think that was a huge flaw because my vote would have been open. Trevor was my closest ally at the time. He could have asked me to save her and I probably would have. So that's a huge reason why she went home. And I think that if he is basing a lot of his speeches and answers around her being his closest ally and her being like a super important part of his game, I think that was a huge misstep for him because I would have saved her had given the opportunity.
All right, Trevor.
Real quick, I just want to say I totally agree with Peyton. That's absolutely true. In fairness, I didn't think I needed your vote, but so the question I thought I was going to be asked was, Trevor, what is the best movie made in this game? Because I think there are a lot of places I can go with this, but I'm gonna go somewhere that I don't think anyone knows about except for Peyton. So Keaton, I'm pretty sure you remember the Lakin vote. Do you remember that vote?
I sure do. I sure do, Trevor. What do you have to say about it?
So the thing about you. So when you were like flipping and everything, and I was freaking out because I was like, okay, Timmy has the extra vote. He can use that. Peyton has his vote. He can use that. So, I mean, like, there's nothing we can do. Like, Zach's going to go home. At the time, Zach was a very close ally of mine. And I knew you, and I knew he and I were definitely going to go deep into this game. So I did not want that to happen. And so what ended up happening was Billy made a call with me and Julia and Hudson, and Tawny was there and everything. We were like, okay, we are saving Lakin, right? Or we're voting out Lakin, right? We are absolutely saving Zach here. We're like, yes, okay, it's happening. And then the call ended. And I sat there looking at my Skype, and I saw Peyton's name. And I looked back to last season when I voted him out, when he was a very good ally of mine. And I said, I desperately do not want to get worst move of the season again. So it was almost like instinct. I messaged Peyton and I said, Peyton, I need you to trust me. You need to vote Lakin, and you need to save your advantage for when we need it later. Do not use it, because I knew he was thinking about using. You were thinking about using it. I mean, you were definitely considering using it.
I was never using that, but
okay. Well, you told me you're potentially planning on using it.
I did tell you I wasn't going to, but
okay, yeah. You told me you were, so that's what made me think it was. So I wanted to make sure someone that I knew would be 100% loyal to me was not gonna be betrayed by me, and I wanted to keep him with me. It's kind of like it's more of a subtle move. It's not like a flashy move of the flashy things I've done, but that move I think was humongous for the rest of my game.
All right, and then Zoe.
As expected, a lot of people are wondering about the integrity of my game because of that 3.5 votes where I was not super present. And so I guess the question that I want to be asked is, why do I deserve to win? And it's because there's so many reasons, but aside from the fact that I didn't even need to be present for those votes, for them to go in a way that benefited me, because I had set myself up so well in the pre-merge that I could do nothing for 3.5 rounds and then completely take over and run to the end of the game. There's that. There's also the fact that I have never quit a game, and I don't want to say that I never will, because you just can't expect certain circumstances to happen. But the amount of work I put in to recover this game after I was in the blackout period, the amount that I overcame to get to this point and to get to a place where I felt that I could really represent my game well, and to make people think that I was doing things in this game, which I fully was, even if there was a period I wasn't. Like, that's what I'm happy to do, is I'm happy to be able to show you that I played strong and hard as soon as I was well enough to do so. Even when I wasn't, even when I was still sick, I was playing so hard. And you, Keaton, you were the one who said you just need to have confidence in yourself. And from probably, I knew that that's what needed to happen. But hearing your words and that little boost of encouragement gave me that extra bit of adrenaline to carry the fuck through and do what I needed to do to get things to go the way that I wanted them to, all the way to the end. So, mental health props for me to be able to recover from something, and we'll talk about it after the game. It was nasty. It wasn't nice. For me to be able to recover from that and take control and still not be a threat, and to be able to have confidence in the game that I played, like, that's why I deserve to win. I set myself up, and even if I needed to take a break, I was able to recover. My game has a perfect beginning, middle, and end. It's like a story. I'm a protagonist, man. Sorry, it's my story.
Every story needs a villain.
And it's Trevor, even though
Which
I fucking despise you, Trevor.
Until 10 seconds ago, Trevor. You wouldn't even have owned that if I hadn't have said something.
I'm making it's funny. It's funny.
And there's not a single person in this game that like I wouldn't love to hang out with and talk to after. Like, this is such an amazing, fun, freaking cast. Like, I couldn't have gotten a better group of people to play this game. So props to Prod.
Zach, I'm getting there. It's gonna wrap up. I'm getting there.
Sorry.
I just asked them 2 questions, and they all wanted to go in depth with their question they wanted to ask. Shut up, Zach. You're about to go. I know it's been more than 10 minutes. Shut up, Zach. I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, I love you all. Just to hop on what Zoe said for a second. We trauma bottled the fuck out of this game. This was absolutely fantastic. You got one more person, and it's probably going to be the most aggressive person in the entire group. It's the person that you played with the most. See ya.
Hello. I will get Zach.
Zangeets.
What were you saying, Destiny?
Zangeets.
Wild WW8.
Where is?
This was a really fun FGC, though, I feel like.
I think so.
People saying we're low energy? I'm having a good time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, wow.
No, the energy is here.
King.
Okay, so one, I'm not gonna be as aggressive as people are gonna make me seem. It's called passion, something you guys are kind of lacking. So that's why I got sent here. And it's funny Keaton said you played with me the longest, because only one of you here has played with me, if you want to call it playing. But just because you played with me doesn't mean you get my vote guaranteed. I'm going to play a little game called Game Awareness here. Raise your hand if you knew I was considering nominating Zoe my HOH.
Wait, what was the question?
I was considering nominating Zoe on my HOH. Interesting, Peyton says that because I don't believe I told anybody but Trevor and Hudson.
Can I explain why?
Not right now. What was my next question?
I just didn't remember.
Trevor, until I told you, did you know that I knew you had the idol?
Oh no, I completely knew. I knew that you knew.
Okay. I forgot what I had asked about Zoe. Also, random comment for Peyton. You did tell me you were voting me out, but voted Lakin at one point. So, but you switched your vote last. You did tell me you were switching your vote last minute. So, never mind on that note, because I think you made a comment about how you're always honest. I'm like, you lied to me, but never mind on that note. I will give Zoe credit here because Zoe, I will give full credit for the Julia move here, and I don't think people are recognizing that. Because Zoe comes to me and was like, hey, I'm voting Julia. Would you be on down? Which I've actually wanted Julia out for a hot minute, despite popular belief. I just felt stuck in this game, which Keaton's trying to bond with me over. And like, I felt stuck this entire game, and nobody really gave me the chance to play the game to how I want to play this game. With that being said, I will save that for reunion. And now Trevor, you know where this is coming.
I know what you're gonna ask me.
I'm not even gonna ask it in the way you're thinking I'm gonna ask it.
Okay.
The way I'm gonna ask this is you could have made it a 2-2 tie, knowing the fact that Peyton is better than me in challenges. Thus, you would have had the same result.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I am going to be 100% honest with you, Zach. There were two things going on in my head last night. Number one, I was absolutely petrified. I was so paranoid that because Zoe and Peyton had been telling me that, oh my gosh, Trevor, you're the biggest threat. You're gonna beat us and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, like why are they keeping me? That didn't make any sense. So I was and Peyton, like nothing Peyton did. Like I was texting him. He didn't text me much that day, and I wasn't texting you much that day. So I was like, oh my gosh, I talked to Zoe. I think Zoe's voting with me. What if Zach and Peyton were working together? I thought maybe you two had some. Hey, I cannot rationalize this part. I can't rationalize this part at all.
Yeah.
So in my head, if you were not voting me, I think I was safe. So, and I will, you absolutely deserve an apology from me because hindsight, that was an absolutely unnecessary lie that I told you right as you were going out the door, and that's completely on me, and I do apologize for that. Because I know how much it means to know if you're getting voted for, and I didn't give you that I didn't give you that, and that's completely on me. The second thing is, I would say since I'd say like Julia went home, it's been this idea manifested. I think Keaton's to blame for this, honestly. Which most things he is. He had mentioned at one point if Zach Shelley made it to the end, he was going to vote for you, and I think there was this like almost like Mandela effect of if Zach Shelley is in the end, he's going to win because he's been on the block the most. He's received the most votes this season with 13. He's survived. He has truly survived the most. And that's why he'd be deserving to win. So in my head, I felt like I could beat Zoe and Peyton more than I could beat you.
Okay, cool. I don't think that's the case.
Okay,
considering
that's fine.
I talked with the jury, but I even had a full-on jury breakdown. Can
I say something really quickly?
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
rebound off what you said?
Remember, we're gonna go back to go ahead.
I just think that if he was so paranoid, like there was no point to be paranoid because he made a final 3 chat with me and Zoe. And we literally said, no matter what, Zach is going home. And that's why, Zach, I wasn't going to message you and give you false hope. I wasn't going to message you and be like, hey, let's have this thing on Trevor, or let's have this thing on Zoe on the off chance blah, blah doesn't win immunity. That's why I would rather not give you false hope and just not message you, because I knew that I had this final 3 chat with Trevor and Zoe for like days before that comp even happened.
It kind of got. I'm sorry, Zach. Just real quick.
Go ahead.
It got in my head that Peyton, you would want to vote me out because I did the same thing to you, and it was very, like I said, it was very irrational, and I just couldn't leave my head that that's
what I'm saying. That's exactly literally what Trevor is saying right now validates my point of the moves and the trust that I had in this game deserves me the win. I didn't base anything off of my first season. I came in and I trusted the relationships that I had in this game. I didn't make false promises in this game, which is an all-star move and why I should be the winner of season 10 for Dragons.
All right, and I'm going to end it on this note because now I'm getting yelled at by the jury. Let's keep in mind, you're the ones that are making it longer as fuck. I had to wait, 2.5 hours here?
Girl, it's only been an hour and a half.
Nick, I was gonna vote you to win, Nick, so shut up. On that note, Peyton, you said you didn't come in based on your previous season. You're in here with one of your quote unquote final 2s from last season, so that's also a lie, quote unquote. But I don't know. I don't have much else to really say about this, but like I said, game awareness is huge for me. Oh, Peyton, one last thing for you because we did. How did you know? that I was considering putting up Zoe on my HOH.
Oh, it's just based on the little conversations we had of I don't want to like air too much, but like just the conversations of some personal things that were happening, and I knew that some people like didn't really value you on a personal level. So that's why. And I know that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
That's why that I didn't know for a fact that you were not in here, but I had
Also-
an idea.
Also, if you don't know what Tawny's Starbucks order is, I'm not voting for you in the end. So bye.
Thank you, Zach. Should be everybody. Bet. So, I think Trevor is starting now. Or Peyton.
Peyton.
I kind of forgot. It's been a while.
It was Peyton Mizo.
Peyton, Trevor, Zoe. You guys have your final speeches.
Alrighty. Usually I would say save the best for last, but the best is going first tonight. I'm just kidding. Anything you guys decide, I completely, full-heartedly support your decisions. I think that both Mizo and Trevor played completely different games, and I value every single type of game that is here tonight because me as a player have been in a final three where I've played similar games to all three of us. So I think that whatever game you decide to base your vote on deserves the win because, and at the end of the day, you guys do deserve the right to crown a winner. I think that it should be me because of the versatility I am as a player, the moves that I made that stand on my own. I was a loyal player for once in my fucking life. So if I lose tonight, I still feel like I'm a winner because in my own self-perseverance, I know that I completely flip the way that I play. And I know that that's obviously not clear to a lot of you because a lot of you haven't played with me, but I'm very, very, very happy of the way that I played. I really want this win because I think that it would validate me as a player. I think that the relationships, the connections that I built, the moves that I made were so behind the scenes that I didn't need to make 78 final twos. Is that dissing Trevor? No, he played a completely different game as me. That just proves the fact that he chose the villain route. He wants to be the villain this season. That's fine. If you want to award the villain, award Trevor. That's fine. That's completely okay with me. I wouldn't have gone to the end with people that I didn't think also deserved the win. I think in an all-star season, it is super, super important to have super different, diverse games in the final three to prove that being an all-star doesn't mean that you have to be a challenge threat. You have to be a social threat. You have to be this, that, and the other. You can play the way that you played to make it into the season and it be such an all-star move to just be who you are. So I think that that's what all three of us did. We played the way that we wanted to play coming in, and that's why we're here. So whichever way you guys want to go, I completely back up. But obviously, I think it should be me. I'm probably a little biased. Just kind of touching on the fact that a lot of you said that a lot of us felt like we didn't want it. I was kind of conflicted because I was told to be concise, and then I was told to be a lot of energy. So I was trying to kind of combine all of that into like one little ball of energy. That's not really what I am. So I kind of try to just give you all what you wanted. So hopefully I answered all of your questions. I do want this win. I don't play games because I don't want to win. I don't play games to get second or third. I play games to win. So if you think that I don't want it, I definitely do. I definitely think that a behind the scenes player who strikes when they know that they should, I think that is an all-star player. And I think that I should be the winner of Experiment 10 Protagonists. So good luck to Zoe and Trevor. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Nick, Minor, and Destiny, and all, if there was other prod behind the scenes, I don't know. But yeah, thank you all. And yeah, I'm super happy to finally have a conclusion to the season. So mwah, and cheers.
Okay, thank you, Peyton. Trevor, you are up.
Okay. This is gonna be kind of different from anytime I've talked tonight or in the season. I don't know what Billy said about not wanting it just really struck a chord with me. I desperately want this. I think anyone would tell you I worked ridiculously hard on this. I put a lot of things aside because of this. It frustrated me at times. It made me happy at times. But like, I'm just being real with you guys. Like, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. So I really respect you guys for doing this several times at the same time. Like I just can't even imagine putting in more effort in more than one game like this. So I'll try to keep it short because I know you guys think I know we're rambling and stuff, but I'm confident in my game. I played flashy. I played a very good social game. I made a very good personal connection with everyone, and regardless of the outcome, we're all still good friends after this. I'm sure of it. Like I said, I didn't have the luxury of pregame relationships, so most of the relationships are pure and genuine. And look, I mean, I got clocked real early for how big of a player I how good of a player I can be, even from last season. Julia clocked me, like she said, round 3. So I tried very hard this season. I hope you vote for me. I will end on vote for the person you want to represent this season. And what I kept telling myself when I was a juror, vote for the person that, looking back 6 months from now, you're going to be proud that you voted for that person. And I truly believe that person is me. So thank you. And thank you, Pra. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. And good luck to Zon Payton.
Thank you, Trevor. Zoe, you can close us out.
I know that Peyton and Trevor have both expressed good luck, but bad luck to Trevor and Peyton. Good luck to me. No, I'm just kidding. I love them both so much. And this game was hard for me. Let's not lie. It was a really hard time. And the fact that I managed to fight through it and get to the end and at least have people saying that they're open to voting for me at the end is like a huge accomplishment for me in general. And I really want to my tarot card selection of the season was the Queen of Wands, and I'll just go over what that means because I do love tarot. But upright, it means courage, confidence, independence, social butterfly, and determination. And I don't really think that Nick Mana knew that he was reflecting my game entirely with his selection of my tarot card, but every single upright description of the Queen of Wands is how I played this game. The reversed side of the Queen of Wands is self-respect and self-confidence and introversion. So when my Queen of Wands was reversed during my blackout, I respected and knew myself enough to know what I could put forward and put forth into this game. The Queen of Wands was the perfect card to represent me. I'm glad that it was my story for this game. That being said, we all did play very different games. However, my struggle and my fight feels so big and so important to me. That's why you should vote for me, is because you said you were all looking for passion. I was so anxious leading up to this day because I just wanted to prove to every single one of you that I deserve to be here, that I was not dragged, that I was a decision maker, and that there may have been a period of time where I wasn't at my best, but every single other moment of this game, I was in control. Trevor might have played flashy, but I played leader underneath, so that people didn't see the flash going. It was like a night mode camera. That was my game. Done. Metaphor finished. So consider voting for me. I'm fun and I love you. I don't know exactly where the jury is thinking. We've obviously heard that they're leaning toward Trevor, but I hope that I was able to show you in my speech tonight that I've matched Trevor on being able to, like I said before, if Trevor made $800, making $12 an hour, I made 16 or 17, and I made $7.99. So minimum wage, minimum effort. Anyway, I think that's it. I love you all. Have a great night.
Queen, I love that analogy.
Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna open the floor. You guys can talk whatever you want while the jury votes. Yeah, once I have all the votes, we will read them.
You guys, oh my god, we're done.
I can't believe it, man.
Are the votes being read like RN?
In like a couple minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so I was totally like, I've been like, I couldn't sleep the last like 4 nights, honestly, because of this game. I just couldn't.
I didn't have, but aside from the fact that I did go on a little immunity run there at the end, I wouldn't have been able to sleep either. So.
Oh my god.
Destiny, I can't add you. I'm not Nicholas Mana.
I can only
Can I
add.
take another drink? I think I should.
Yeah, I can add Destiny.
Oh, there we go. Goodness.
I can only add 6 people though, so everyone else has to kind of sit in the background.
There was literally 5 people here, and you were just letting me run my mouth in the comments.
I figured Nick saw. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Now that people are voting, I have my jury question. Are you guys ready?
Why aren't you coming to Blaze Town?
I was supposed to be there this weekend, like right now. But anyways, my jury question: who is your favorite prod member?
Destiny.
Destiny.
I'm gonna say Minor.
Fuck you, though. It's my birthday. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's Destiny. I didn't know it was your birthday.
Happy birthday, Queenie.
We both said. I said it in the chat this morning.
Do you think that I was awake?
I think there might be
Do you think I was awake?
Unacceptable. Jury, I hope you're listening still. No, I'm just
Destiny, I am sorry, and I take it back. I've already voted you out once. It's not fair to do this to you again.
It's okay, but I got you nommed and voted out, so it's okay.
Oh, that's true. Duplicity.
No. You didn't. When have you ever voted me out?
This game.
Oh, I don't think that counts. I was idle. I went out on an idle.
Well, yeah, and you were trying to vote me out, so.
Only because it was the only thing your boyfriend or whatever he was, whoever he is, said. So.
Cody?
Yeah, I would have voted whoever, but it was the game he gave. He said vote so, and I was like, okay. And then he idled. So I really don't think that counts. But yeah, no, I got you voted out in, what was that other game? I have a fucking sweatshirt for it, and I can't remember the name.
It's not even gonna let us have everyone here.
No.
I
You're
mean,
bum.
I guess we're just gonna go to Zoom.
No, just finish it out. Just go on camera, read the votes. The jury, we can do a reunion later on Zoom. For real though, regardless, I just want to say I'm very proud of all 3 of you.
Are you proud of your autocast though?
Yeah. Okay. But it was you and Trevor. So.
She's a liar. She tried to autocast Dave and then didn't say anything else.
Well, she was like,
that's because
I want you to play the season, but it's gonna be right when mayhem is happening. And I was like, oh no. It's gonna get there after. I'm like, okay, fine.
Either way, I'm proud of you all. You did great. Hold your head up regardless of what happens. Yes? All 3 of you not in agreement, whatever happens.
Yes.
Oh,
you hold your head up.
You already know why I'm okay with not winning.
Okay. All right, good luck. Nick, are you ready yet?
I am almost ready.
Hello.
Hey, Minor.
Timmy's also
What
here.
did-
Hi,
What
people.
did I lie about?
I was at work, so I couldn't ask you questions during this.
You lied because you're supposed to be at Boys Town with Zach and I this weekend.
Wait, what happened?
Timmy's supposed to be in Boys Town too?
No, Destiny.
Oh, I
Oh,
was gonna say.
I like your shirt, Dest.
Thanks. I'm actually wearing leather pants. I'm very excited.
Oh my
about
god,
my
I want to
outfit.
see.
My outfit is freaking cute. I don't know if you guys can like.
Oh my god.
Oh, I guess.
That could have been Maybe
yeah.
you wouldn't have been a first juror if you were wearing that.
I hate you.
Oh man. I had to think in my mind if that was a spoiler, but it's not.
And I was second.
Oh, that's right. You were second.
Okay, I have the votes for a winner. So yeah, you guys want to see your name tonight? I know you guys haven't been getting votes this season because you guys got 3 total, but I have more than 3 votes. So if someone's finally gonna break that number, I will read the votes for the last time. The first vote is Lakin's vote, and it is for Trevor. That's 1 vote for Trevor. Next, you have Keaton's vote. Keaton has voted for Zoe. That's 1 vote. Trevor, 1 vote Zoe. Next, you have Julia. Julia has voted for Trevor. No fucking question. That is 2 votes for Trevor, 1 vote for Zoe. Tawny's vote is for Trevor. There's 3 votes for Trevor, 1 vote for Zoe. Hudson's vote is for Trevor. That's 4 votes for Trevor, 1 vote for Zoe. Billy's vote is for Trevor. That's 5 votes Trevor, 1 vote Zoe. Timmy's vote for the winner of the experiment protagonists, Trevor. Congratulations. You have won the season. And Jay, Zach, and Jacob all also voted for you. So you win by a vote of 9-1 to 0.
So cute.
I'm sorry. I wasn't gonna cry. I'm sorry.
You're allowed to cry. You did it.
That
You
was
did it.
I was so worried. You guys
I'm
killed
so
it.
proud of you.
You guys made me like shit my pants. I was like, oh my gosh. I was. You know what I did today? All I did today was watch